From ContainerDays Hamburg, this video is proudly presented by Dax IT.
We are going to talk about building modern platforms in all industries. This is basically an end-user talk where we work at BaneNOR, which is the Norwegian, I don't know what the actual English thing is, I just say the Norwegian railroad people. Yeah, sure. Which is an old industry that's been going on for a long time, and we're trying to do cool things there. So, who are we? My name is Robert. I work for Soprasteria. I'm a principal cloud native architect, which means I chose my own title. The official title is senior manager. Not really that.
Manage nothing?
And I manage nothing. So that makes no sense. You know, levels of hierarchy and stuff like that. I'm a Microsoft MVP for Azure specifically. Done a lot with Cloud Native in Azure. Also Cloud Native Ambassador for the stuff that I've done in the CNCF and adjacent things. I used to be the chair, one of the chairs for Tag App Delivery. I'm not the chair for Tag App Delivery. Also, Tag App Delivery doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, that kind of goes with the territory. In the Tag App Delivery, we had the Platforms Working Group, which I helped co-found, where we did a lot of things around platform engineering and how to build modern platforms. But I'm also been part of Open GitOps, helped define the GitOps principles and stuff like that. I also do a lot of things because I keep on saying yes to things, and that's why
you end up.
That's why I'm here, basically. And
that's me. Yeah, I'm also a principal cloud native architect and a senior manager managing.
You stole that?
Nothing.
You stole my title?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have all the other fancy titles. I'm the residential nerd. I've been a developer for about 20 years, architecting a lot of stuff. Now I'm the team lead of the platform teams at BaneNOR, which BaneNOR maintains the railroads, the tracks themselves, and not the trains. Yeah, let's jump on. We have half an hour. So what is BaneNOR? They operate and maintain and builds the railroads throughout Norway. This is a big wall of text, so just to keep your focus here. The first main line in Norway was built in 1854. One of Norway's largest real estate companies. They have all the train stations, but also a lot of shopping malls and stuff as well. One of the biggest electricity provider. They provide their own electricity. One of the 3 or 4 big cell phone providers. And some signal systems from the 20s are still in operations, and even the control center has technology from the 70s that's still in operation. So that's just something about where we fit into this. So from the beginning of the digitalization of the railroads, they started with some servers at the server center, adding on more. We need even more, building out, having both like the enterprise IT systems and the operational IT, the OC systems at the same place, and running out of space and mashing everything together. So what was the solution? Could we go to the cloud? How about just moving everything up here? Might not work that way. So BaneNOR was, or kind of actually is, pretty ITIL heavy. Which probably some of you have some experience with from before as well. A lot of people and a lot of processes have to be included, and a lot of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So we have the process from a system is developed until it's released of at least like 5 to 6 weeks. So not very effective or agile in any way. So that's why we got in, or not the two of us, but our predecessors in this project, to kind of make it a more agile process where we have the platform team that develops the capabilities and standardized components for the platform, and then the DevOps teams now moving from kind of developer teams with those roles to a clean DevOps team, which have their own responsibilities around deployment. As you all know, you build it, you run it. So what we say is that our developer platform kind of delivers in 4 categories. It is the platform team of skilled people that can. I need to walk over to my notes. That develops and maintains and improves the platform. We have the technologies and capabilities of the platform that improves the developer experience for the DevOps teams. It is the processes that takes care of the platform, like CI/CD pipelines, self-service solutions, monitoring solutions, maintenance, observability, etc. And it's also talking about an agile collaboration culture. Yeah. At least we are there to kind of enable the development team to generate maximum value of their solutions. So there are either some regulatory needs or other business needs from the organization that get some attention from the adults. Some has to then set together their team. I love Robert loves my arrows in this this presentation.
It's just the purple arrows. Is
right up your alley. We have an onboarding process where we onboard the development teams to our work in progress. And we have some standard applications, example applications they can kind of start out from, and then they're kind of ready to go. And that doesn't mean they're in production. We have onboarded teams that's still in development phase after 2 years because they have to adapt their systems to kind of live in a cloud native environment. And might take time in a 200-year-old industry that has 100-year-old technology still. So we have platforms in plural. We are focusing on, in this talk, most about the development platform, which mainly consists of some Kubernetes clusters. We have all our code in GitHub. I tried to fade out the DevOps icon a bit. We are migrating all the codes from DevOps. It was there before. But the project managing is still being done in DevOps. We have the data platform, which is like Fabric, Databricks, Power BI, etc. And then we have the integration platform, which has some Confluent Kafka kind of in the center of everything, also running in Kubernetes or AKS, some self-developed stuff in C#, and at the moment, API management. There's a little guy trying maybe do something about that. But we'll see, making everything a bit more cloud native. Yeah, so for the business side, we're trying to kind of look like one platform for the outside. They have one contact point. We have common work processes and everything, and that's not that interesting necessarily. So it is a complex structure, and we touch all the levels of the Purdue architecture for those that have touched that before. And this is my drawing of the Purdue architecture model. Luckily, we are mainly up in the level 4 or 5, touches down in the DMZ, that we added the level of 3.5. And at the moment, we are not down in the scary part where there be dragons. We will probably be there at some point, but that offers a whole new set of challenges as well. And since we are talking about railroads, we also have some extra added complexity down here with the rolling stock as well. And yeah, that ends up being its whole own complex model of Purdue and security levels and who can send and communicate with who and everything. But let's jump back from the dark and grimy world of the OT and back to the world of the IT side and the cloud native side. That's much more fun to work with. And this guy.
Yeah, this is what happens if you are on stage. Yeah, so like Manfred said, we don't work with like at the signal level things. We are concentrating on creating application platforms or platforms in general, have a platform engineering culture and everything like that. And I'm really happy about that because sometimes trains don't run. And when people hear that you have the client, which kind of is responsible for that, I'm just happy to say that's not us.
Yeah,
that's not us.
No.
You went to the station, there was an announcement, there's screens. Yeah, that's us. They work. So, what do we concentrate on? Well, we've broken it into at least, primarily these three areas. We want to create app environments. We don't want the developers to necessarily know or have any, not influence, that's the wrong thing to say, but we want them to have a nice place to stay. Like we offer a safe haven for their code. We promise to take care of everything around it. And we define that as an app environment. In our case, that is built on Kubernetes. It doesn't have to be, but that's kind of what we did. We are focusing on the developer experience, and I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. But obviously, if you have developers, you want them to have a good experience using a platform. That's kind of the thing we're trying to do here. But also, we have a lot of security requirements and a very active security section that asks questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, be good at security.
They generally say no.
Yeah, they say no, and then I say yes.
Yeah.
I tend to win bigger. So it's, and all of the concepts that we use are based on the experiences and things that we in the platform engineering community gathered into the platform's white paper, which is, I can't have a presentation without showing this, apparently. Not because I was one of the people involved, but because it's a really nice model and way of thinking about platforms. So we don't necessarily focus on the actual technical implementation. We try to teach people about capabilities. So you need a database. Okay, what kind of database? And don't say a certain type of database. Let's say like the general. Is it NoSQL or relational database or not? Those kind of things. You want somewhere for stuff to run. What that runs on doesn't really affect you as long as it's efficient and easy to use. And we try to abstract things away. So this is, like I said, from the platform's white paper, where we have where we defined our platform's capabilities and platform interfaces. That's kind of like the two main areas of work that we do. You don't need to offer all this. That's not the point of this. This is just showing the various things that you can offer in a platform. And if you read the white paper, basically what you're getting out of it is thinnest viable platform. I tried to make the text as thin as possible as well. You want to start small. What do you need? Like at the lowest level of having an operating platform, what do you need? Build that and then expand. Right? And that's kind of been the mentality behind how we do things. So on how we do things, we have a couple of clusters for various environments that spread out across several clusters for various reasons. And we have a platform infrastructure cluster where we do kind of like, we mainly run GitHub runners. And Azure DevOps runners? Azure DevOps pipeline runners, are they on there? Maybe.
We still support them. I think we have set the end date of next summer.
Yeah, we mainly run GitHub runners on it. And more like shared services are kind of like, will be placed there. But right now, a bunch of these things kind of live in all the clusters locally. I put in some things here, common tooling, but the list is actually kind of long. And it's long because we are continuously evolving the platform, getting feedback, and removing things where it doesn't make sense. So this list might even be outdated for all that I know. But the main thing to see here is that we automate things with like common CNCF tooling. That's been a priority of ours. And for those with keen eyes, see the flux icon. So we try to do everything in a GitOps fashion. And on these platforms, we have product teams of various sorts and our infrastructure applications. So I say we want to do things in a GitOps ways. What we have right now is this sort of image. I made this last night because I thought I needed something visual. So we have a platform repositories. That is 100% GitOps. The only thing we do besides like pull requests and labeling and those kind of things in workflows, we have a Flux patch workflow, which I think is broken. I noticed yesterday, and I was like, oh, damn. so I can't show that. That's my fault, sorry. And then the teams have stuff in repositories, and they use the workflows that we have built. So we have been responsible for building like the shared workflows as well, including a deployment pipeline for pushing changes into clusters. So most of all the application teams, I think, still follow that because that was an easy fix when the platform started 2 years ago. And it made sense for the developers. They're also on journey, right? And even though we are very comfortable doing stuff in a GitOps manner, we still need to make sure the tooling kind of gives them what they need, right? And right now, pipelines are doing a good job at that, even though I don't like it. And we are creating a plan to get everyone over to the GitOps way of doing things. Not just because I like it, but because it is more efficient, quicker, more secure, and will cost less. Because right now we're hosting our own runners to get around all like the security requirements.
It's like we still have teams that run like legacy pipelines in Azure DevOps as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the world they came from. So baby steps.
And that's kind of the thing where we, like we say in the title, like 200-year-old industry. I find it funny that it takes a little bit of effort of like building platforms for railroad people because they're kind of all about platforms.
Yeah,
that's a concept they know about. But it takes a while, and we have right now how many teams
on the platform? Now you're putting me on the spot. 40-ish, 30-ish.
Yeah. And not all of those are running stuff in production on the platform.
No, just a handful are already in production. After 2 or 3 years, we still only have a handful in production.
Yeah. And again, because some of these systems actually, have to run on things that are essential for the Norwegian railroad to work.
We try to not stop the trains too much.
Yes, that seems like a priority.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm from the north. We don't have railroads. That's the comments. So, automation. Right, we have a bunch of automation. We automate certificates. You should automate certificates. I think everyone knows that at this point. We have the Dependabot that does stuff that we don't always pay attention to. That's a process problem, not a tool problem. We have release please. We do our own Terraform modules. Using stuff like release please really helps us and using stuff like conventional commits, so all those tools work, great stuff. But sometimes we automate too much, which is an engineering problem in general.
We have some eager platform developers likes to implement.
We see shiny stuff.
Yes.
And I guess this is your story about where the one that we shouldn't name did a thing.
Yeah. So as I said, we have release please that creates kind of the automatic change log. We have several other automations like superlinter to check code quality, but also some language. And when this merge was done, release please went to fetch the templates, updating the change log, running the superlinter, and then we have an error in the superlinter. So let's take a look at the error. And it seems like it's a problem in the natural language checks because that's super important for your code quality. So what was the error? That was a typo in the template of the changelog itself. So it will, for every single run, pull in this template to create the changelog, and it will fail on the natural language linter.
So the thing here is not that automation is bad, but sometimes you kind of just automate things and don't really think like, should you automate it? Like the super linter, for instance, which sounds cool, but what does it check? Like we are writing code, we have other things that check code, right?
Yeah.
We have markdown files where people are typing stuff, and yeah, sure. People, we're Norwegian, so like English terms for some people are kind of weird. But then again, like my English is better than my Norwegian. So if we were writing it in Norwegian, that wouldn't help me at all. But it kind of comes back to like, so what do we automate and what do we check, right?
The fun part of this is also that the way to write bug fixes is from the standard template of release please. So we never wrote that template. That superlinter.
I don't know. I think I didn't do well in school, but I think bug fixes isn't it more right than bug fixes? I don't know. I might be putting Norwegians in like, so. The main reason why we have this in there is just like we move slowly forward and we kind of removed some of these things because we figured we go through the process of is there a need? If someone says something like let's do this, we kind of well, does that actually solve anything? Does that actually help anyone? That's kind of how we build a platform, like step by step. In this case, someone figured it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And no one kind of took the time to say, like, do we need this? And
I think
and it started breaking things.
I think someone left the team.
And someone left the team, so it's fine. Yeah. We can throw that person under the bus, so it's fine. But yeah, I'm not sure where we're at the time.
Oh, like we have 6 minutes left.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah. So where are we? Where are we going? As we talked about, we are getting there. Here's actually the numbers you asked me for. We have about 40 teams onboarded. At the time I wrote this, we had 4 in production. We have more now. We have about 10 teams in production. The development platform itself is a couple of years old. BaneNOR has a focus on digitalization. Budgeting-wise is another question. But it is a 100-year-old company. This is a huge cultural change for them as well. So it just takes time, and a lot of systems are dependent on other older systems.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, my talks have tendency of like coming to the same conclusion, where it's like the technology is fine, the technology is easy, culture.
Yeah, it's like we try to focus on delivering, as you said as well, delivering the capabilities from needs, and we have stories of. Very recent stories about developers in the DevOps teams as like, can't we have this instead of this, like as software can we use something else other than the Dependabot because I have used this before. But we are kind of trying to focus on delivering on capabilities. And
Yeah. So another example of that is also we don't have any way to do remote like accessing Kubernetes clusters like out of the box.
we have a way.
We have. But we haven't focused on making that a good experience because the people who actually are in the clusters, that's us. And we made a script, right? So we set up, we have a bastion host, we do SSH tunneling. Sometimes when we need to look at a website and do port forwarding, we have to do like weird proxy stuff. But that's okay because that's us, right?
It's like the platform development team is like 6 people.
Yeah,
So,
and everyone's comfortable doing this. So it's kind of like we don't prioritize fixing that. That's not looked at as an issue. While we have prioritized a lot of work in other fields, for instance, our GitHub migration, where we have a lot of automation-based, event-based automation, where we set up, for instance, where if you are in a team, you can then create your own repositories with a certain naming structure. So only the people in the teams can make the team repos. And creating one of those triggers automation to get all the secrets they need and everything like that. So we like, and that actually solves the thing. It's a part of the onboarding process where if you are on the team, you can basically just get new repositories for your team and you get everything you need. All right, so instead of focusing on how to get into a cluster, we focus on automating away pain points.
And as we said, we also have kind of an opinionated security team. So we also focused on kind of having the built-in security, built-in guardrails, so that the development teams doesn't have to deal with everything. It kind of handles itself through our standardized pipelines and everything, and the platform itself.
Right. And with that, I think we're basically on time. Ish?
You're very good in time.
Good.
But you also have a few questions. Thank you.
Oh.
How do you make sure that the dev teams will switch over to a GitOps approach?
Okay, so that is sort of a hard question because I always talk about autonomy. And if a team chooses not to do it that way, we will have to be very mature on that approach before we start or have a business reason. For instance, we want to save costs, so we need to remove runners or something like that.
They're kind of free to not to, but then it's not supported by the platform, so it increases their workload a lot.
So I don't really like the approach of like having like support as a hostage. It's like if you don't do the way that we do it, like we screw you. So that's why this takes a little bit of time because I'm trying to write and create a process where it's obvious for them that they want to do it like this. We need to make sure that. Like one of the things people or developers tend to think about when it comes to GitOps is with pipelines, you can see what's happening, right? So we need to make sure that it's as easy for them to be part of the process, even though the process is automated as with pipelines. And again, GitOps process is mainly for us right now.
Yep.
And we don't mind looking at what Flux is doing directly in the cluster. That's not an issue for us, but we don't want the developers to have to do that. So
it's a matter of making it obvious that their lives are easier if they follow it.
I think that sort of answered the question. We haven't done it, so it's kind of like we come back next time. Maybe we've done it then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's go over to the next question. Sounds like a familiar stack. Are you searching for ready products, or will you stick with your make instead of buy?
I have opinions. You have a team lead role, so you need to.
It's back to the thing that we are delivering capabilities. We won't change anything just because something is new and shiny, even if we do and putting in things that's new and shiny.
So in next couple of months, I have at least 2 presentations on rent versus buy versus build. So that's why I say I have opinions.
Yeah.
Before the Bullet platform, don't think we mentioned that it's called Bullet, as in bullet train, because go fast. Before the Bullet platform, things took a long time to get into production.
Yeah.
There was a lot of steps. There was a lot of automation and testing or manual steps. When we came on, or the company came on, we started building something based on the idea of, again, thinnest viable platform, built with tooling that we know, so it will go fast, which is why it is a familiar stack. We have a pretty strong cloud-native community at Sopra Steria, at least in Norway, that focuses on using this common tooling and how to make them work in a platform. So it just kind of made sense for us to do that. And what BaneNOR wanted was also a team that could come in and build something for them, not just come with like a done solution or black box approach. So they could be in control of what's going on there. And even if we left, like everything's documented, it's very obvious why we chose these stacks things. We have architectural decision records and so on and so forth. So someone can just come in and go like, oh yeah, it's this, cool, and continue running it. So.
Yeah. The next question is pretty big one. What's your? I think on every platform talk we have this cultural aspect. I think it's the most important thing. What's your advice for actually changing the culture, especially when the top management prescribes a change and people just don't want it?
Yeah.
Good question.
Top management is always hard. Yeah. I usually say that I'm kind of against like polar opposites. So like top-down approach really doesn't work, but kind of bottom-up approach doesn't work either. It needs to be both at the same time. I think it's in the middle where stuff happens. Changing culture is really hard. The one thing that I've noticed when I talk to companies that have bad culture or not a culture that is accepting all these new things or you know those kind of people, you know who I talk about. I try to be very honest. That is a thing that I feel at least works, and rely on kind of like the evidence of the things that others have done. We have a lot of research to indicate that, for instance, going through all these like tedious processes slow down things. I don't know why that's a thing we need to research. If you need to stop at every turn and look at are we still going the right way, yeah, it's going to take a long time. I don't know why that's the thing. But we also have a lot of proof that not doing that and doing things quicker doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to go to hell.
Yeah, no, I mean, just to set the mandate for this developer platform took over a year of meetings with security, with infrastructure, like existing infrastructure, IT management and everything. And then once we started, it was at least a year of involving a lot of these people through the processes so they kind of could be assured that they were good processes and they didn't miss out on. So it's just time and involvement is kind of important.
But I think that also is a very key thing, like mandate.
Yep. We got a really clear mandate, so we worked for a year to get the very detailed and clear mandate before we started.
No one besides the people on the platform team themselves kind of do the decision on what the platform is, like technical-wise. We don't have to go through like an approval process, in most cases at least, unless it, you know, something security.
So then we have 2 questions left. How do you manage your GitHub repositories?
Yes, a bunch of rule sets and triggering on webhooks. So This is like an ongoing process where we're trying to automate basically everything. But I guess at the start, it was more of you had onboarding process was the team got an like administrative repository, and we did some basically CI/CD stuff to move stuff around. So you had like one place that kind of defined how that team looked in terms of bindings, as people like to call it, but secrets. And we, got GitHub Enterprise set up, started using all those kind of tools where we can set up a little bit of rules around how this works. So, like I said previously, now you have to be part of a team to be able to create, something that has a prefix of that team. And if it's a repository with a prefix of that team, the idea is that that's going to trigger something that will then make all this work. Right, that's kind of like the short answer.
Yeah, because we have automation then on the events from GitHub that runs creates some rule sets, some policies.
And then you have your hobby project.
My little hobby project, yes.
Which is a Golang.
Which is automating myself.
Yeah.
And all the boring administrative processes.
Yeah, like putting stuff into SharePoint.
It's a lot of crap.
That's a good thing to automate. I'm just saying.
I have to deal with the Microsoft Graph API, so I hope you feel sorry for me.
That's a full-time job.
Do you have a short answer to next question, last question? Have you managed to automate the change processes?
I mentioned ADRs. So we try to write ADRs for everything that there should be a decision record on. The thing is, the documentation for every platform lives in Azure DevOps at the moment, but still that wiki page is still just Git. We try to keep one source of truth for every platform for things like that, and then we set up automation in terms of pulling in all that documentation and then building a portal basically with MKDocs. Pretty straightforward process. Besides that, for change processes.
The company's change process in ITIL, we try to not care about. We went through all these processes with the platform, so the platform teams don't have to, because then they're just running things on something that's already in production.
Yeah, I think that was what we have time for.
Thank you.
From ContainerDays Hamburg, this video is proudly presented by Dux IT.